Hey, what's up, everybody? We are coming to you not live from the center of the outskirts of downtown Houston, Texas. This is the show where we bring you the most underqualified commentary on the week's hottest movie news to us. Also, reviews, mini reviews, trailer reviews, and movie recommendations. And possibly other stuff that we just feel like talking about, but are also not qualified to talk about. This is the Casual Critics. I'm here with my good friend, the other casual critic, Daniel. How are you doing today, Daniel?
Pretty good. Glad you guys have joined us, and looking forward to talking about some pretty big bombs that got dropped this week.
Oh, we have got huge news to talk about. This is episode 1 of the Casual Critics, and pretty great way to start off the show, I think.
Yeah, pretty significant announcements.
But we will start off with some slightly less interesting news, but still interesting, I think. The weekend box office.
Oh, yeah.
We had a few surprises, and then a few not surprises.
I was going to say, were they really surprises?
Well, Fury opened at number 1. Let's run through the list here. We had Fury at number 1, 23.7 million.
Solid numbers.
Solid. They were shooting for 25, so pretty close there.
But it was the biggest of Ayer's openings, wasn't it?
Yeah, from what I've seen,
biggest box office opening for David Ayer. So that's definitely something he's got to be proud of.
Mm-hmm. And very well reviewed. You can check out my review of that on the YouTube channel. Number 2, Gone Girl, 17.5 million. This movie has got some serious legs here.
Yeah. That's we've talked about that before. We kind of knew this was going to be something that was going to last and have some staying power. And
yeah, it's got people talking.
A lot of word of mouth.
Yeah, and if you haven't seen it, your friends that have seen it want you to, so...
And they're laughing at you for not, so you need to go see it.
Yeah. The Book of Life, 17 million.
What was their budget on that? Because Del Toro has a habit of having the high budgets.
Yeah, 50 million.
Yeah, see, it looked interesting. You could tell it had, even in animated form, it had that Del Toro flair, but
yeah.
I was actually... I guess with the competition, I could see why it did that, but I was expecting it to actually do a little bit better than that. So
yeah, it's
we'll see.
It's not a crowded market right now for kids' movies.
Yeah.
Alexander and his day.
Yeah.
Opened at number 4 with 11.4 million, which is its only really other competition. Yeah. And I mean, it's not doing that.
And that was a much lower budget film, though, wasn't it?
Alexander.
Yeah.
Yes, slightly, 28 million.
Yeah,
wow.
So that's, a big difference there.
Yeah. Man, that movie was so stylized, though. I haven't seen it. You haven't seen it, right?
Which one?
The Book of Life?
Yeah, no.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't even know if you think you'll ever see it? Ever?
That's not really, I'm not into that sort of Tim Burton-y looking kind of feel of animation. That's not really my thing. I mean, if I had some kids, I might take them to see that. It looks neat, Say, hey, this is what Magic Mike looks like as a box, I mean, that's...
They look like wood, like whittled wood carvings.
They do, and I've heard talk about how this was like a new type of animation they were doing, and with these animation houses, they're always trying to do new technologies and stuff. It's like a cross between stop motion and animation, and it's... Anyway, I'm sure it's very interesting for industry insiders, but visually, just the trailers, it didn't really do anything for me.
And number 5, The Best of Me, which is the other one that was opening in wide release this week, $10 million, the lowest, I believe, of all the Nick Sparks releases.
The Nicholas Sparks clone movies. They're all the same.
They're very similar. I mean,
they're all the same.
They each have their own flavor, though. But, this does kind of make me sad, not because I was interested in this movie, but because I do like James Marsden and Michelle Monaghan as actors.
I think individually as actors, they're great. I like seeing him in stuff because everybody thinks of him as Cyclops, where you never even see his whole face. But so I like seeing him in other roles.
Yeah, but see, as Cyclops, he doesn't get to really flex.
He doesn't. To be real Cyclops, like in the comics.
But I'm just talking about his acting ability.
He's pretty limited.
Like, he can deliver more than is required of him in X-Men.
His role is somewhat muted, I think. But here's the thing: if you haven't seen the trailers, this is a story about a kid who, they're young puppy love, as all Nicholas Sparks books
Clichés,
start out as.
yeah.
But then, okay, he gets out of jail because there's a misunderstanding and he served time and blah, 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 and he's still in love with her 20 years later, as people tend to do. Okay, in the real world, we call that stalker. In a movie, no, it's just romantic. But she's married, and he basically comes in to break up the marriage. And the movie is about, hey, go adultery. I don't get why. It's absolutely ridiculous nonsense. His style of writing is this very stylized, dreamy-eyed kind of notion of what relationships are. It's not based in reality. Young teenage girls watch this garbage.
I didn't know you read his books.
And well, I've seen too many of his movies. You can tell because he's involved in the script adaptation on all these, isn't he?
Yeah, at least as he's like a producer. I know on all of them.
So it's just it's not for me.
All right. Number 6, Dracula Untold, 9.9 million. Pretty steep drop off for that one. A 57% drop from last week.
What was the other one? It was like 20-something million for the first. The
Dracula Untold opened to?
Yeah.
Oh, first week, it opened to like 25.
Yeah.
Or like 27, I think.
Although, with Fury coming out and stuff like that, you had to anticipate that.
Yeah, that was right up its alley. Like, going to take a big
and it
chunk
hasn't
of the
been
market
getting
out.
great reviews. I didn't think it was that bad, but the reviews haven't been super positive.
I heard that like it crushed in Mexico.
Really?
Yeah, for whatever reason. Like it did
big
insane.
Dracula fans or something?
I guess so. I don't know.
It's interesting. Different markets, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, number 7, The Judge.
What's this, third week or second week?
This is its second week.
Second week? Okay.
Yeah, it opened up with last week. 7.9 million. 40% drop this week. This is not looking good for Team Downey, which is the actual name of his production company.
And the thing we talked about last week was the biggest Achilles heel of this is the huge budget.
It's $50 million budget.
It
opened to $15 million this opening week. I don't know why it was rated R. There was like a dozen or so F-bombs.
The language is the only reason. Didn't need to be.
I mean, I know why it was rated R. I mean, why did they make it rated R? Right. Yeah, they could have cut all those curse words out. It wouldn't have taken away from the movie. It's not like the movie was like filled with curse words and it would have totally changed up everything. And then I think maybe if you had taken out one or two jokes, like some of the crude jokes, it could have been PG.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Really, I mean, there's not really bloody violence or anything like that.
Yeah,
there's nudity.
There's a few crude jokes that maybe would push it into the PG-13, but if they edited those, they could have made it PG. Which honestly, when I first saw the trailers, I thought it could have been rated PG. I thought
it really
PG-13 tops. Like a family.
Yeah, PG-13 pretty much covers everybody, and this is one where you could do that, and you wouldn't watch it and think, oh, you could tell that they really edited some stuff out to tone down the rating. No, you wouldn't notice the difference at all.
Yeah, not like Expendables 3, where you definitely, very clearly tell.
The guy's head explodes. No blood.
Okay, number 8, Annabelle. Haven't seen it.
Yeah, that one dropped off pretty steeply after the first weekend. What's it at now?
7.8 million.
Okay. While he's running through down to like spot number 64 of the weekend box office, let's talk about the real one that's not in. I doubt if it's in the top 10 or even top 20.
No,
a movie that needs to get a wide release, that is in limited release, so you might not have even heard of it, but it did phenomenally for the release that it got.
It opened. Okay, let's put this in perspective. It opened in 4 theaters.
How many theaters are there nationwide? What?
There's
6,000, 7,000? I don't know.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, thousands and thousands. A wide release is
only
like 4,000 or so.
I think like 35 and above is considered wide.
3,500. Yeah. So I mean, it's a big blockbuster movie like Transformers or something like that is going to be in just about every theater
like
in the country.
4,500 theaters at least.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
It's released in 4. Not 4,000. 1, 2, 3,
just
4.
But so when you hear the average per theater ticket sales were $106,000 per theater, which is
huge.
Which is insane. Like, so to put this in perspective, Fury made like 7,000 per theater.
Yeah.
Now,
and it made what, 23 million, something like that.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. So There's two ways to look at this.
But this movie only made 400,000 because it was only in 4 theaters. You think that's tiny, but where it was being shown, people went out in droves, and they're like, "We've got to see this," and they all loved it.
So where it showed, everybody wanted to see it. But I mean, let's put this in perspective. That doesn't mean if you open it up in 1,000 theaters that every one of those is going to do the same numbers. You know what I mean? Obviously,
but it is a good sign.
The wider you release it,
the average drops.
The average is going to just drop. It's just math.
Yeah.
But it's huge. Like, even for the limited release market, like, it's really big, really big.
And this is the kind of movie. We haven't actually said the name of it. This is called Birdman.
Birdman, yeah. Michael
Did you
Keaton.
say? Okay, I didn't know you said the name. Yeah, Michael Keaton film. You can look up the trailer on YouTube. It's fantastically, hilariously weird looking. You know, some great star power, some really good, talented actors, and Michael Keaton's one of these guys that he's kind of flown under the radar for a long time. Everybody thinks of him as Batman and everything. Yeah, but every time he's in a movie, he's fantastic.
Oh, yeah. Need for Speed? Great.
Need for Speed was a pretty lame movie, I thought, but his character was great.
Michael Keaton was great. Yes. The other guys, hilarious.
He was funnier than Will Ferrell in that movie. I thought, Will Ferrell was just being Will Ferrell. That's true. He was like the serious hard case who was also worked at Bed Bath & Beyond, but it was hilarious.
That was hilarious. And I hope like some of that comedic talent, because he actually got started in like comedies.
Yeah, he did a lot of like Multiplicity and
Mr. Mom, stuff like that, you know. So this is I think this movie I feel like is bringing together all of his best qualities.
It has a kind of a darker comedy tone to it, but it's also kind of a mirror of his life in a lot of ways, because it's an actor who's trying to reclaim his glory days and the struggles with, you know, feeling illegitimate as playing.
He portrayed a superhero at his height and stuff. And then apparently I heard that they also make jokes about Edward Norton's past, about how he's difficult to work with, and you know how he's played roles and stuff.
Got to make fun of yourself.
I guess so. And I've heard, I don't know if this is true, but I know they were trying to get the movie to look like one shot, and from what I understand, they actually did get like basically the entire movie looks like it's one continuous,
like the Quran editing on Gravity.
Yeah, Hispanic actors don't like to do cuts, I guess. I don't know.
I guess not.
Well, in Birdman though, it is edited. It's just some movie magic to make it look like the whole thing is one shot. And apparently most of it takes place at the theater that he's trying to get his play up and running. And so most of it is around there. So, but still, man, I cannot wait to see that.
Hopefully the big numbers will encourage the distribution company to put it in some more theaters. Because right now, like we're in Texas, pretty big state, one theater. One whole state. That's it.
Well, if you think
it's not around the corner, so.
Well, it's only 4 theaters, so it's like 1% of the U.S. states.
Well, if it's not in one in like North Dakota, okay, there's only like 13 people in North Dakota.
That's
Texas
true.
is big.
Yeah.
We need at least 2.
Yeah. Well, you know, you get those indie sectors. Of people where they know.
People in Austin, they like that artsy stuff.
Okay. But, so now on to the juicy superhero goodness.
Make my mouth water so juicy.
That is okay. Grab your favorite drink and your thinking caps, because we are about to go in depth into every comic book, movie, news announcement that came out this week.
So, old swigger over here.
Okay.
So the first one.
Yeah, this broke Tuesday.
Yeah,
I believe.
it was like Monday night.
Tuesday morning.
You start seeing stores.
The Variety comes out with a report that Robert Downey Jr. is going to be in Captain America 3, and it's going to be way bigger than it was originally supposed. He's going to be in a way bigger role than he was originally supposed to be, and the speculation is still just a rumor at this point.
Yeah, not confirmed.
Technically a rumor, although everybody is broadcasting it like it's Bible truth.
From what he's saying, it seems pretty legit idea, but yeah.
Yeah. So, still a rumor, but apparently they are starting the Civil War storyline in the movies that's going to start in Captain America 3, which is apparently either going to be titled like Fallen Sun or
Civil War.
Or Civil War,
They might go with Civil War.
Yeah. So, let's just talk about this. What does this mean? First of all, we have to totally rethink what we thought of Avengers 3 was going to be.
Yeah.
And what Captain America 3 was going to be.
Yeah.
I mean, we at the end of Captain America 2, it looks like it's off to Bucky land, wherever he's going, you know? It's like off to find Bucky, you know, the yellow brick road to Bucky.
Yeah, that's the thing that not a lot of people have been talking about at an angle of this story is this pretty much puts the nail in the coffin for the notion of, oh, well, Chris Evans wanted to take a break, so he might get killed in Cap 3 and all this, and then Bucky take up. No, they're going to be carrying this out.
That makes it less likely, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and but then how does the Winter Soldier fit into the Captain America 3, the Civil War storyline? It's gonna be totally different than anything that we were thinking of. First of all, okay, so if you don't know the storyline of Civil War, basically there's like this registration act that the government imposes because the superhero like explodes and kills a bunch of people and stuff, and so they want every superhero to register with them. Captain America's like, nah, I ain't about that. Iron Man, ironically, is like, yeah, let's go for it. Because he doesn't care about his personal identity.
He's big on the fame anyway. He's like, yeah, I'm Iron Man, what's up?
Yeah, and so it creates like these two factions. And of course, X-Men are all like no registration and stuff, which they're not going to be in the movie, obviously. And then Iron Man and his whole crew.
Yeah, that's the thing. They're saying Civil War, but even if the subtitle of Cap 3 is Civil War, this will not be a page-to-page translation of the comic book. Because of rights and everything, there's a lot of things that are going to be missing from this.
Like Spider-Man
plays a big-time adaptation.
Yeah, Spider-Man plays a huge role.
Well, that's the other thing is they're saying, well, Spider-Man might make an appearance in it.
Yeah, the week before, there was this whole rumor that, Sony is thinking of, like, lending Marvel Disney Spider-Man for like one movie or something like that.
It'll be on loan for the week.
Yeah, which is I don't even know how they could possibly like.
I don't know if there are enough lawyers to make that work.
There's no Harvard law class on that. Like the logistics of like how much screen time is Spider-Man going to get? How much is Sony going to get for him to be in the movie? Wait, Sony, you're not actually doing anything here. You just happen to own the rights. You're not putting up any money. You know what I mean? Yeah. So many questions there, but this kind of makes it seem slightly more likely that Spider-Man will actually somehow cross over into the Marvel Disney Avengers universe.
Yeah, even if he's not... doesn't have a lot of screen time, he might be a short but significant role kind of thing.
Yeah, or maybe he'll not be in it but be mentioned.
Yeah, that's true.
You know
they could do something like that. But the big thing is, this is... It's obviously... Number one, this has to be at least influenced by the massive success of Captain America 2. The Winter Soldier.
Yes.
Which, Cap 1, I liked the first Avenger. Okay, not the first Avenger movie, Captain America, the first Avenger, the first Captain America. I actually really liked that film. I thought they did a good job. But because it was coming off the heels of Iron Man and the other, like Thor, and everybody's like, oh, these are real big and lots of action, all this kind of stuff, and this one seemed toned down. I think it let people down, but I thought it was pretty true to the Captain America character.
Yeah.
Captain America 2 was a huge leap forward in that.
Yeah.
Everybody liked that.
Yeah, it was a step up from anything we saw in Phase 1.
And so now they're like, you know what? Let's ride this gravy train all the way through to Avengers 3.
Well, if they really thought that, why would they want to add Robert Downey in there? I think this has more to do with the fact that it's going to be opening up after, very closely, I think within like a month of Batman v Superman.
Oh, you think so? They wanted to see some... Well, yeah, because they both had the, what was it, May 6th, I think, date?
Yeah, they both had May 6th. I'm looking at it right here.
Batman v Superman backed off a couple months to like March.
They moved up to March 25th.
Yeah, they went to... they're releasing theirs sooner. So Captain America 3 kept the same date.
Yeah.
I don't know necessarily that I agree with that simply because there's enough time there.
Yeah, it's like close to 2 months.
Batman v Superman, if it's still in theaters, it'll be way down the list. It's not going to be really affecting the box office of this movie.
Yeah, but I think they're thinking about their standing over the course of the entire year because in 2016, the only Marvel movies that are coming out are the only Marvel Disney movies that are coming out are Captain America and Doctor Strange. And we all know Doctor Strange isn't going to come anywhere close to touching the box office of Batman v Superman. No. And so I think, just my speculation here, that Marvel wants to say, hey, look what we did this year.
Well, like
we want to have a huge huge movie
yearly
as
box
well.
office.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can see that.
To put ourselves on the map for the year, you know.
But you touched on something also, and that is the whole, Infinity Gauntlet Thanos storyline that we all assumed was going to get wrapped up in Avengers 3. Now, we haven't seen Avengers 2, obviously, so we don't know how close we get to that point. Because Avengers 2 was written and shot and everything before they made this announcement. Right. So even if they were still in production when this theory came along, it's all kind of weird because Feige has had the next 27 movies planned for like years now, and it seems like this is a somewhat new development rather than just a new announcement. So it comes to that question comes to mind: what has caused them to change, and what changes will this cause? Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, somebody said at Comic-Con last year that Thanos is. Oh, it was whenever they announced that Ultron was going to be the big bad for two, and everyone was like, "What? We all thought
Thanos." Yeah,
why would you put
it at the end of one?
Yeah, why would you put him at the end of one? And everyone was like, and then I believe somebody did say, "Oh no, he's the big bad for 3." Yeah, or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
So yeah, I guess for me, the main question about this whole Civil War notion is,
where does that put Thanos? That storyline?
No, it actually makes me think: is this going to be an abridged version of this Civil War storyline? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. Well, you have less characters.
And will they wrap it up in one film?
No,
because everybody's saying, "Oh, it's going to lead to 3." Well, 3 that's like a year or two away.
Yeah, and then you've got saying, Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
What's the big battle in Captain America 3? Because the movie has to. Yes, we know the storyline continues. But you've got to have some semblance of a beginning, middle, and end to that film. Yeah. So if that's Civil War and the Civil War doesn't get resolved, then what's the dispute? What's the battle?
Well, in the Civil War storyline, Captain America actually kills Tony Stark.
Right.
Which, I mean, who knows?
Well, he's already contracted for Avengers 3, I believe, so he can't be killed per se. Or if he is killed, he's going to have to come back.
Well, yeah, no one actually dies here. But, I mean, if he is killed, I don't know. They could still put him in the film without him actually being alive in the movie, like via flashback or something. But anyway, here's what could happen. You could end up with some kind of a thing where Captain America, at the end of Captain America 3, they end up fighting each other and one wins, one loses. And then in Avengers, then that carries over to Avengers 3, where this conflict is still going on, but then Thanos comes in and then reunites everybody.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Because I still want to see, like, the OG Avengers, the original crew, take on. I want to see...
Yeah, and that's the thing. We're going to get new characters in Avengers 2, and we'll probably get more by the time Avengers 3 comes in.
Yeah, and then Guardians of the Galaxy, some of them might end up in an Avengers movie somehow.
Avengers triple extra large kind of version.
XXL, Magic Mike XXL.
But yeah, I think everybody, especially after the first Avengers movie, we want to see that core group come back and really kind of save the day, so to speak.
Like Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, and Hulk.
Yeah,
those are the. Well, it would be
Black Widow and
It would be funny to see Black Widow and Hawkeye like shooting arrows at Thanos and stuff.
And he's like, "Seriously, what are you doing here? Go to Starbucks."
So yeah, I think we covered that pretty in depth there.
Yeah, that's. But hey, at least now people aren't talking about the whole, is he going to be in Iron Man 4? Who cares? He's going to be in Captain America 3.
Yeah,
they might as well call it Captain America 3 / the next Iron Man movie.
Iron Man 3.5?
3.5. Yeah. Redux.
Okay, now let's get to the big news, even bigger news.
The news that made us forget what was announced the day before.
Yes, everything that we just talked about.
Doesn't matter.
DC and Warner Brothers have announced not even their entire slate of movies, DC movies, for the next 5 years, which include, I've got the full list right here. I've actually got an entire schedule.
Pull out the whiteboard.
I've got a whiteboard of every single movie, comic book movie that's coming out in the next 5 years. So I'm going to throw this image up at you while I read off these, okay? We have got, in 2016, Batman v Superman in March, Suicide Squad at the beginning of August, Then moving on to 2017, June 23rd, we got Wonder Woman. Then November 17th, Justice League, Part 1.
Oh, yeah.
Then, at the beginning of 2018, March 23rd, Flash, solo movie, which we know Ezra Miller will be in for sure.
Not Scoot McNairy, like all the different sites were promising. Yes. Oh, we just
Not
heard.
Scoot McNairy. Yeah. He's got those green socks on for some other reason. Okay. Then we got Aquaman, July 27th, which this has been confirmed now. Jason Momoa is playing Aquaman.
Big Swole.
Yes, Conan the Barbarian is playing Aquaman. Okay, then April 5th, we got Shazam, which we know will have Dwayne Johnson in it as Black Adam. Okay.
Correct.
Then, June 14th, this is 2019 now.
Yeah.
Justice League Part Deuce. Man, that's going to be huge. Golly.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And then 2020. This seems like so far away. I feel like we'll be like in flying cars or like have like surrogates or something by 2020. But
teleport to the theater.
Which is probably why they're introducing Cyborg, his solo movie, in 2020, April 3rd, 2020, which we know will be starring that one guy who they confirmed.
Ray Fisher, yeah.
Is it Ray Fisher?
Yeah.
Okay. He hasn't been in any movies. He's a theater actor.
Yeah.
And then June 19th, Green Lantern reboot. No news on that.
No Ryan Reynolds. That's all we know. It's not Ryan
Reynolds. We know it's not Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah. The new one.
My goodness. Wow.
But see, here's the thing about that. Number one,
so many.
That's a lot of cool stuff, and we found out that Justice League, the story of Justice League, will be split into 2 parts. Okay, they did say that. This was all basically revealed in a shareholders conference call, essentially. Okay, they're doing a conference call with all the shareholders. It's a scheduled thing. A lot of people were saying, "Oh, DC just did this to take the wind out of Marvel's sails for their name."
This was already planned. Yeah.
Shareholders meetings aren't pulled together in 15 minutes. Quick call the shareholders. We got to talk. No, they were planning, and this is like a quarterly thing. This is a regular scheduled
to get everybody riled up, confident in your stock.
Sujihara?
Kevin Sujihara.
Sujihara, is the CEO of Warner Brothers. Okay, and he's all in with DC. So he basically gets on the funny little thing on the desk where you're talking speaker to dozens of people, and he's like, "Look, guys, we're going all in.
Check out all these movies."
I don't know if this is confirmed from it, but I heard a couple of different places they were saying a $2 billion marketing budget.
Just marketing.
$2 billion. To put that into perspective, Avengers was big because it made over $1 billion. The movie made that, and that's not pure profit. Okay, you take off the back end, the marketing and the production and all that kind of stuff. That's for one huge movie. These guys are saying we're making all these movies, which, let's be clear, not all of them will be billion-dollar films.
No.
Okay.
Well, no.
Yeah, not all of them. Okay, a couple possibly. But they're saying they're going to spend $2 billion just in marketing. That's not the cost of making these films and the
like
the
paying the actors and the film crew and stuff.
It's an insane amount of money.
Just to make ads and put ads during the Super Bowl and all kinds of
full speed ahead with pushing this, saying, "Look, DC's got their act together now. Yeah. We're in this 100%. Marvel isn't the only big kid on the block. We're going to bring it." And I'm super pumped about that.
Okay, that is the feeling I get. They're saying we are confident in the movies that we are going to be making now.
Yes.
Okay, we're not playing this. Oh, let's move the dates around.
Yeah.
No, they are all in now. Okay, now, but let's realistically though, everything after Justice League, I feel like, is still up in the air because these dates can change. The movies can change. The plans can change. We learned that from Sony. They've rearranged their whole Spideyverse all around, when Spider-Man 2 wasn't the hit that they thought it was going to be. Right. So this is subject to change. But at least now that it's out there, like from the source, like from Warner Brothers.
Yeah, these aren't rumors. This is confirmed.
Yeah, it inspires confidence in moviegoers and audiences, I think.
It does, especially just like with what we were saying about Feige. They've got this planned several years out, which
Yeah.
not only from a business standpoint makes a lot of sense, saying logistically we got to be in production on this movie by this time. Once we wrap that, then we're going to go on this one and get their slate lined up as far as a work schedule. But it also tells us from a storytelling, thematic, cinematic side, okay, this is how this story's going to go, because essentially, with the exception of maybe the Suicide Squad, possibly, these are all going to be connected in the same universe.
Yeah.
Okay? Now,
Shazam. Shazam might not be connected.
Yeah, Shazam
but I
might
forgot
not
to
be
mention,
as well. Yeah.
this slate does not include the dates for the Batman solo movie and the Superman solo movie.
Yeah.
So there's at least 2 other movies somewhere in this 5-year
That was
span.
the first thing people asked. They're like, wait a minute, what are the dates for Man of Steel 2 and a Batman solo? Because you've got to have those. And then he tweeted out saying that this is in addition to Batman and Superman standalone films. So we are going to get those. We just don't have dates confirmed yet.
Goodness.
This is insane.
So insane. So insane. So let's talk about, let's go through each movie here. So Batman v Superman, we know Henry Cavill, we know Ben Affleck is going to be in it.
Yeah.
We also know that Scoot McNairy is playing an undetermined role. We know Jesse Eisenberg is Lex Luthor. We know that Jenna Malone, we just found out this today, that Jenna Malone is playing a mystery role of some kind. We don't know what it is yet.
A lot of speculation on that for her being a possible female Robin. But I actually would pick her more for, and just for the age range that we're going with the Dark Knight characters, I would actually guess Commissioner Gordon's daughter.
Barbara Gordon? Batgirl? You think she'll be Batgirl?
I don't know if they'll turn her into Batgirl, just like what's his name won't be Cyborg in this one, but he's in the film.
Oh yes, and then we also know
Still
Ray
like
Fisher. Yeah, we know Ray Fisher is going to be in this movie, who will be playing the character of Cyborg.
Yeah,
but
I can't remember the character's
won't
name.
be Cyborg yet.
He'll like have his accident where they need to do the
give him all the
and
crazy
the prosthetics and all that.
Stuff. So that's what we know. Now speculation here. Yeah, we could have Batgirl. Now, that would fit because we know that Batman is going to have been around for a while in this movie. So he's going to be an older Batman. He's going to have been around the ringer. He didn't just become Batman like 2 weeks before
my
Man of Steel
understanding
happened.
is he's coming out of retirement, basically,
for
for all this nonsense.
Okay.
Yeah, that seems to be the real thought.
If that's the case, he could have a whole team Batman of characters that maybe are still fighting crime while he's not, or that he's going to recruit to help him in some way, some form or fashion to help him.
But so many online news sources use that term
quote
loosely.
unquote.
They're pushing this female Robin thing hard. I can't remember the female character there of Robin.
Yeah, she was actually introduced in the comic book that
The Dark Knight Returns,
right? Which is the one that Zack Snyder said that he's
they're
borrowing heavily from.
Yeah, big time.
And when the book first came out, we didn't know if that was canon or not. But and some writers have chosen to use her as like a Robin character that Batman uses. You know what I'm saying?
But the thing is, in The Dark Knight Returns, the female Robin is like 13 or 14 years old. She's young, and Jenna Malone is like 30.
Yeah. Well, see, she plays a young adult on. She's playing like a teenager or a college-age kid on the Hunger Games. So she's got a younger looking face. So she could be like a college age.
I still think that would be pushing it.
She could pass as like a
That's
older...
not to say they can't adapt it to make the role just work in this universe. They certainly could.
Plus,
do that.
if Batman's been around for a while, then it would be safe to say that if she does exist in this movie, then she wouldn't be 13 anymore. She would be older. You know what I'm saying?
I guess I don't know.
But either way, that's a long shot.
I don't think that's not where. If I was a betting man, which I'm not, but if I was a betting man, I wouldn't put my money on the Robin character.
Okay, that's far away.
We just know she's gonna be in it. Jeremy Irons is as
Jeremy Irons will be playing Alfred
Alfred. I'm actually really excited about that because
I want to see how much they use him.
He's the former SAS like hardcore version of Alfred, not the.
I've been a butler for 3 generations.
Yeah, like in Batman and Robin, where he looks like he almost dies because Mr. Freeze does it.
Yeah, I wonder how much they're going to use
not that one.
of that. But anyway, so yeah, final thoughts here, but I wonder is the conflict of that movie really going to be just Batman v Superman, or do you think they'll pull some kind of a villain in there to bring them together or something? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, I've heard, I've seen on a couple sites there's rumors from these extras who apparently on the Batman v Superman set can't keep their dang trap shut. Don't you know? That piece of paper you signed, you can get sued. You guys keep leaking this stuff.
Hey, more than that, it's about integrity.
Yes, it is. Okay, extras. God, you act like this isn't your full-time job. But anyway, they've been saying that apparently there was a fight between Bruce Wayne, not Batman, but Bruce Wayne and Lex Luthor at some big fundraising event or whatever.
Ooh.
So there's certainly going to be side conflicts, and we're going to get introduced into a lot of these characters in somewhat significant ways. I still think, obviously, just from the title, the crux of the movie is Batman and Superman meeting, not agreeing on some stuff. Dukes will be thrown, and then by the end they bro hug it out, and then you say, "Hey, let's start a superhero club together."
They go to fight Brainiac.
So
allegedly,
possibly.
Possibly, we'll talk about that later when we get to just like. Okay, so that is March 25th, Batman v Superman. Up next, we got Suicide Squad, which comes out August 5th of that same year, and the rumor is that they're courting like Will Smith, Margot Robbie, and Tom Hardy.
Who's the other one? Ryan Gosling.
Ryan Gosling. Yeah, apparently so.
Yeah. Those are the rumored ones.
Which, to be honest, that would be amazing to see all those actors. Like that's a lot of talent in one.
Well, that's
movie.
the thing. Even if the rumor's completely untrue, one thing we do know, because it came from the studio heads, is they're courting, quote, 4 A-list actors. So even if they are courting these specific 4 and the names are accurate, but maybe because of scheduling conflicts or contract disagreements or whatever, maybe some or even all of them don't go for it, they're still looking for A-listers. This is not going to be a throwaway movie that they're like, oh, this is sort of in the same universe, but it's not.
It's like, hey, we need this movie to set up other things, so we're not going to really care about it. Even if they are addressing those actors or of the similar caliber, that really gives me confidence in that they're taking this movie really seriously. You know what I'm saying?
Which again feeds into the whole the budgeting number. It just, you can tell this is Suicide Squad for those who watch Arrow, which should be all of you.
They have the Suicide Squad in season 2 of Arrow, which was they did it pretty cool.
They did a cool job.
I think Ryan Gosling would make a great what's the guy's name with the eye thing?
Deadshot?
Deadshot, yeah. Ryan Gosling, I think, would make a great Deadshot. I think Tom Hardy would make an incredible Deathstroke if he was in there. We don't know what the lineup is going to be either. Yeah. We don't know what the lineup is going to be, but that would be insane.
Will Smith could be like Bronze Tiger.
Possibly, yeah. And then,
or there's a couple other
and then,
black characters he could play.
And then Margot Robbie, they're thinking probably Harley Quinn.
I don't know if they're going to go that route.
Yeah,
I think she could play it,
kind of kooky. Yeah.
It wouldn't be the animated Harley Quinn. It would be like a serious, darker kind of. Yeah,
but from what I've heard, there's this character named Killer Frost who has like Iceman powers.
Oh yeah.
Who's apparently has been in the Suicide Squad before or something like that.
Yeah, it's kind of like Avengers. That it's an interchangeable sort of.
Yeah, it's like a revolving crew of stuff. But anyway,
because of the name Suicide Squad, obviously not all of them stick around all the time.
So the premise of the Suicide Squad, I don't know how the movie is going to do this, but there are these criminals that this government organization takes these like super criminals and they put like a bomb on them or some kind of a kill switch like in their brain or something, and basically they make them like perform these like Black Ops missions for them.
They're sort of like reluctant good guys because they would rather be doing crime, but they don't really have a choice, sort of thing.
Yeah, it's like either do this for us or have this bomb explode in your head, or whatever.
But if you look at the tone that they've set for the Batman v Superman universe with the no jokes stuff, everything's going for kind of a darker tone.
Oh yeah.
This could be like on the edgier scale of what they're doing.
Yeah.
So it could very much be in there. And think about it. They could have some of these guys coming from Arkham that Batman has locked up in the past, and and Argus comes in and says, "Okay, we're roping you guys in," and then I mean, it obviously wouldn't be former villains of Man of Steel of Clark Kent because he
it
hasn't been around that long.
It would be
but
Batman
they could
villains.
be competitors to Lex Luthor. It could be a lot of different guys.
Yeah, so that movie sounds very interesting.
Yeah.
And if they're taking it as seriously as we think they are, it's probably going to be at least pretty good.
Well, and just from the timeline, I would say by the time we see, I would say by next summer at the latest, we'll be getting...
Summer 2016? Or 2015?
15. We'll be getting...
Batman news or Suicide Squad news?
Well, we'll be getting not only like an actor lineup, but we'll be getting... possibly next year at Comic-Con, maybe a first teaser trailer or something. But here's the funny thing. Somebody brought up the other day that I was watching on another show. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson confirmed Black Adam won't be in this universe. He's going to be in the Shazam movie, and it's 2019.
Almost 5 years from now. Well,
that's
actually,
crazy.
Yeah, like about 5 years from now. Those movies don't even feel real to me right now.
It tells me they've got to be teasing the character into this universe. I know they're saying it will be a different feel. It's coming out from, what is it, New Line Cinema, I think? They're like
Legendary?
One of those. They're secondary production house, but there's no way you get an actor that big with such a big name and such charisma
and just use him for one movie 5 years from now.
5 years from now. Yeah. Well, and he was up until they announced it. He was teasing the whole. I don't know which one I'm gonna be.
We know they've got him in a contract for that movie, and whenever they sign these actors for these, if they're following Marvel's structure, which I'm sure they are, they're going like 6 to 9 pictures. Per actor. Every actor.
None of these guys are going to be able to get away with less than 3 to 4 movie deal minimum.
And so we've got so many movies. Until then, he could pop up anywhere, like literally anywhere.
If they're going to seed him into the Superman universe that we've created thus far in Man of Steel, in that world, he would have to pop up at least as a cameo or something, or at least a mention, because there's no way you just... That seems very peculiar to me. We're going to have to keep watching for news on that.
Okay, so then jump into 2017, June 23rd. We have Wonder Woman solo movie. Wonder Woman solo movie.
So this will be after Batman v Superman, where she will be a presence in there.
Yes, we don't know how much. Yeah. But I mean, they've got to. I mean, there's only Suicide Squad coming out between Batman v Superman and Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
So she's probably not going to be in Suicide Squad. No. So they must be thinking either she's got a significant role or the scenes that she's in are like pan-freaking-tastic.
Well, and it might be... Well, it's... I'm sure she's going to have some sort of introduction.
Yeah.
And she's not just going to show up like everybody knows who she is. They're going to... They probably won't go into a detailed backstory, like an origin story.
Maybe
they'll
Batman
probably save
knows
that
who
for the
she
solo. But yeah, he might have run across her before, something like that. Or just like the Aquaman thing.
And what we know is Gal Gadot will be playing her in both roles, both movies. And we know that they confirmed that she is the daughter of Zeus.
Yeah.
And they will be calling her a demigod.
Yeah.
So
we'll see how they do that.
I don't know exactly how much that means. They're going to go into like Greek mythology and say, I don't think they're going to say, hey, you know all that stuff you know about Greek mythology? That's all true and it exists in this universe. I don't think they're going to go that way. I mean, I know he confirmed and said, hey, he's a demigod, but I think they're going to do some kind of a Thor type of a deal, like they did in the Thor movie, where like
I was saying this a year ago, and everybody laughed at me. I'm like, look, they're gonna have to address it because there's a couple different origins for the Princess Diana character, who is Wonder Woman in the comics, and one of them is that she's essentially half daughter of Zeus and like some mortal and everything. So she's a demigod, and she's got supernatural abilities and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, you know, we don't have to go into the whole religion thing, but basically in the world they've set up to come in, for a character to come in and be like, oh yeah, Zeus is my dad. And everybody not bat an eye.
Yeah.
It doesn't fit. There's continuity issues there.
Plus,
so they're going to...
Man of Steel was so grounded
Yeah, everything was like scientifically explained.
Yeah,
this
it was
is
like,
how
oh, we're
we
terraforming. That's why I'm losing my powers.
Yeah.
And, oh, the yellow sun and all this stuff, And so it seems totally out of the scope that they've set to do.
I
something
think you're
like
right. They're probably going to do something kind of like what they did with Thor, explaining this is where this notion of these people being gods came from, but the real explanation is
we're
they
just
have
basically
this
aliens from this other dimension or something like that. And
I'm really surprised they're not going with the
Supergirl?
Kara. With the Kara, because they're gonna have to at some point address why there was the empty pod.
Yeah, in Man of Steel there was a pod open in his spaceship that he came to Earth in. And so,
or no, it was the scout ship that crashed there.
Yeah, the scout ship that he finds in the Arctic.
Yeah.
That Zod ends up stealing or whatever, but there was a pod open and it was empty, and there was this comic book release that showed like somebody crawling, a female crawling out of it, and everyone
walking away.
That's Supergirl. People thought that maybe Supergirl was going to be like start the Amazonian race or something.
Yeah.
And we know that on Krypton in the Man of Steel universe, they manufacture their babies. They don't actually have them. So for some reason, maybe they stopped making men. For whatever reason.
Could be a lot of ways they could use that storyline, but they're going to have to address it somehow, and I still have a feeling it's going to tie in to that in some way.
Yeah.
But maybe they're doing that so that later on down the line, a Wonder Woman, Superman fling can happen, and there's no like, oh, hey, that's part your cousin kind of thing.
Well, just because they're descendants doesn't mean they're like closely related. Or
hey, I'm just saying.
And in the new 52,
no kissing cousins here.
In the new 52 comics, Superman and Wonder Woman are a thing.
Yeah.
So who knows?
Could happen.
Okay, then November 17th.
The big one.
Golly, I hope Ebola doesn't get me before November 17th, 2017.
Too soon.
I just have to stay alive until that moment because
it's really all he's living for at this point.
This will be the first. This is the first live-action Justice League movie ever attempted. This will be the first time. We don't know. We don't know what the lineup is going to be.
We don't. No.
I mean, obviously, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, they have to be in there.
Aquaman, almost certainly.
Could be.
I always thought Flash was going to be in there, but his solo movie is afterwards, so it could be that he's in it, and then he gets the solo afterwards. Or he could not be in it, but maybe just introduced or something, and then
like
he
his
comes
character,
in,
and then he gets the powers in his own movie,
and then he kicks it back in Justice League 2.
Yeah. See, that's another thing. Yeah, because they're splitting it into two parts.
So the Justice League members could change between part 1 and 2.
Right. Well, I hope they at least get added to a little. We know they're going to get added to. I hope they don't drop any characters. But yeah, so
kill them off.
Justice League's coming out. So the Flash is coming out just a few months, like 6 months after that.
Yeah.
And then Aquaman is coming out like close to a year after Justice League. So, obviously, if the character has a solo movie coming out, that makes it more likely that they might be in Justice League. But then you also have Justice League members that we don't know if they're getting a solo movie yet, but that could still be in there and still be in the universe. Kind of like Black Widow and Hawkeye. Stuff like that. They could bounce in and out of the other movies. So you could Hawkman, Hawkgirl, Martian Manhunter.
Yeah.
They're all those three characters. They're possibilities. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's quite a few. It's just like with Marvel in that DC has an extensive roster. Some of them are much less popular than others. Some of them are very widely known. Some of them aren't. At the end of the day, Batman and Superman
and Wonder Woman
are going to be there.
And I think Wonder Woman's movie, because it could come out the same year, her storyline is probably going to play into the Justice League movie quite a bit, I think. But who knows? We don't know what kind of style of storytelling this is going to be. I mean, if just going off, just assuming that it's going to be like how Marvel is doing it over with their Justice League.
Put it this way, if you're a betting person, smart money is on a lot of post-credit scenes in the coming years.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking. But, who knows what type... They might try to make their movies more isolated and stand alone. But, I mean, who knows?
That's the thing, is if the early rumors from last year were true, DC's going to have kind of a dual universe thing going on. So... some of the ones that they haven't announced times yet, but like Sandman and some of those other Vertigo comics, some of those coming out won't be connected. The Shazam one possibly may not be connected to this universe and everything. Right. But obviously, the Batman v Superman, Justice League, that's going to be a running series.
Yeah, I forgot about that. There are several DC movies that are coming out. They announced the dates for them. a few months ago.
Yeah, they
right?
announced dates without giving titles.
They're DC comic properties, but they're not going to be in their.
It's not the same world as this.
They're not going to be in the same cinematic universe or whatever.
Yeah.
So anyway, November 17th, Justice League. March 23rd, 2018, close to 4 years from now, the Flash solo movie is going to be coming out. We know Ezra Miller is going to be in it. Yeah. I have seen that one movie that he's been in, Perks of Being a Wallflower. And honestly, I couldn't remember what he looked like. Then I saw him. He's got kind of a weirdish look to his face. He's like super thin.
Yeah,
he's like crazy. He looks almost anorexic.
I'm
and
pretty sure
all the pictures I've seen, he has long hair.
Yeah, and
he's
I mean,
not
that's
blonde,
obviously.
So I don't know if they're going to go with the black-haired Flash. I don't know.
Yeah, they obviously can do a lot with shaving his head or cropping it and dyeing it and all that kind of stuff. But he's going to be. It's Barry Allen. Yeah, he's going to be.
You know what? A lot of people were surprised about, which we already knew that the TV universe is not crossing over with the movie universe.
It's not Grant Gustin,
but. Yeah, the Flash TV show just started.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people are like, man, I love Arrow, I'm liking Flash. Why can't we just mend these two things together? Which, who knows? This is the Age of Miracles. We might get into some alternate dimension type stuff and like say that like these are the same universe, different dimensions.
They're not gonna go that route.
Who
Put
knows,
it this way,
man? Who knows?
They're doing as much as a lot of this sounds familiar to those who've been watching what Marvel does. At the end of the day, this is not exactly the same as Marvel because DC is rocking the TV universe.
They are.
And they're not all for everything they've said and everything they've shown so far, they are not in any way crossing the streams of big screen and little screen.
And so far, it's serving them very well because their TV shows are a lot better. I don't really like Gotham. I haven't really watched Constantine. Gotham's okay. It's not bad.
I don't think Constantine started like I like Gotham. It's a very different feel from their other two.
Yeah, but it's doing well. I know it's doing well. All their shows are doing
Flash
solid.
had like the biggest release
ever
like
CW
ever
open,
on that station. Yeah,
and it beat out the episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. for that week, which is just really garbage. But
still going amazing.
Hey, I still watch it though. I still watch it because it's part of the Avengers universe, and I gotta.
No matter how bad it is, just keep making more episodes.
Yeah. But anyway, so keeping their universe separate has done wonders, I think, for them because they don't have their hands tied. They can do what they.
And that's really part of this is everybody who's not a super fan of comics, who's not a big geek with stacks and stacks in their closet of comic issues
long
with like
boxes,
the little
dude, long boxes.
You've got to have like the cellophane wrap and all that kind of stuff. For the rest of us who just like myself, I used to read comics when I was young, but I don't really keep up with the stories and everything. I'm vaguely familiar with a lot of these, but I don't have intimate knowledge on all this. I just go to the movies and I want to see a good story. For a lot of you guys, this feels very similar to what Marvel's doing, and everybody's like, well, Marvel's the big kid on the block. They're the ones that run the show and everything. Give it 2 years, that's going to change.
Yeah, I think people are going to be really surprised what happens when you take superhero characters and put them in a movie where you take it as serious as you possibly can.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think it's going to surprise a lot of people. Because, I mean, in a sense, that's kind of like what The Dark Knight did. They said, here's this character, Batman, and we are going to take it the maximum level of realisticness and seriousness and drama. Yeah, realism. And so, and that's what we saw with Man of Steel, too. I felt like they were really hard with that as well.
It's sort of the... And this is an oversimplification, because there's a lot of really great Marvel movies, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But it's the versus, it's like on the Marvel side, you've got really cool visuals and action and explosions and stunts and stuff.
Yeah.
And on the DC side, you've got more character-driven stuff. Man of Steel, which I loved Man of Steel, more than this guy, because he's got bad taste.
It was right.
I absolutely loved Man of Steel. And it had some great visual effects, great special effects, with the wrecking all of Metropolis, immense destruction, all this kind of stuff. But it was a movie driven by the character development of the Clark Kent character and the struggles he went through and emotional and everything. And when you bring in Ben Affleck, talking about the Dark Knight, the real Dark, not just Batman, but the Dark Knight, a jaded, bitter, beaten, older, worn, seasoned veteran of beating the crud out of people with his bare hands. This is going to be about what the people are going through and everything. Yeah. And so I like that. It is going to have a more serious tone, but it's going to have plenty of stuff blowing up and things like that. Yeah, and we're obviously going to have superpowers and things like that.
Yeah, explosions with the substance, you know?
Yes, not just chuckles, you know,
but I think,
the Hulk punching Thor in the face.
It's going to be it's going to be different, and I hope that, you know, if they can bring the quality that I think I'm seeing here, you know, people are going to be really surprised what happens when you take these comic books characters very seriously.
And let's be honest,
it's a different type of cool.
It is, you know, and this is we're entering into a new age, because let's not downplay this at all. Justice League is going to be phenomenal. You know, Shazam I think is going to be really cool, especially with The Rock, because he's just always fun to watch, no matter how bad the movie is. It's going to be interesting to see how that movie shapes up. You know, Cyborg I think is interesting. Aquaman, which is very adventurous and everything. But let's be honest, this all starts in a year and a half on March 25th.
March 25th.
When, for the first time in history of movies, the two biggest, I don't care if you like Marvel, DC, whatever comics you look at,
the history of the world.
Superman and Batman, you go to Afghanistan or Nigeria or Colombia or Great Britain or wherever in the world, and you say, name me two superhero characters. The first two, people may not know who Hawkeye is, okay? They may not know they might not even know who Lois Lane is, but they know who Superman is, and they know who Batman is, and these two
know who Spider-Man
juggernauts are going to be on the screen together, and that is going to just blow everything out of the water.
They're the quintessentials. Their names are synonymous with superheroes.
Yeah,
I mean that's just how it is. So yeah, we got Flash March 23rd. We got Aquaman July 27th, 2018, which we know will star Jason Momoa. We rumored that... What were you going to say?
I was going to say, I am siding with the minority on this, I'll admit, but I'm siding with a few people who I've heard say this. I don't think they're going to call him Aquaman. The movie might be called Aquaman, but in the movie and in Justice League, in Batman v Superman, I think they're going to call him, was it Arnold? Or
his name's Arthur.
Arthur. He's like the prince or the king of Atlantis, right?
Depending on when the story takes place, yeah.
But I think they're going to call him Arthur. I don't think they're going to call him Aquaman. That's just going to be the title of the movie.
They never called Superman in Man of Steel.
They did.
They did?
Yeah, towards the end, when there was the ships were coming down and all this kind of stuff, and he said, "Oh, he's got Superman in tow." And he's like, "Superman?" He goes, "Yeah, that the alien. That's what they're calling him, Superman."
Oh yeah, when they're in the ship.
So there was the tease there.
They're in the ship with the other ship.
Yeah, well, it was in one of the scenes with the military guys going back and forth.
Oh,
like in Batman v Superman,
so they call him
he probably won't call himself Superman, obviously.
Yeah.
Be like, I'm Superman. You know, he's not going to do that, but people will probably refer to him as that. I don't think they'll call Arthur Aquaman.
Yeah, see, what's going to be interesting to see is, like, we'll know more if we see him pop up in Justice League or whatever, Batman v Superman or something, but is it going to... I'm hoping that if they've already got the character established, maybe we could have his solo movie take place more on Atlantis than it takes place on Earth. You know what I mean?
Well, Atlantis is on Earth. It's under the sea.
I mean, underwater. Yeah. More underwater. With
that's the thing is
CG sets and stuff.
That's one of the, I guess you could say, riskier properties because it is.
Well, people know his name. People know him.
They do, but
so it's a more marketable than Shazam, I think.
Yeah, but Shazam, and then you change it. I mean, that just sounds silly.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things that they're going to have to be careful how they do it because Aquaman, by the nature of how the character's written and everything, he could come off very silly. Yeah. You know, he talks to fish, just like Ant-Man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we'll see how that movie shapes up too.
But it definitely looks cool. I think Momoa as a casting is a great choice because DC seems really set on their big characters being really jacked.
Yeah,
I mean, these guys
you need to be like 6 foot plus. You need to be like 250 pounds.
Unless you're Wonder Woman, in which case you could be a little stick. You know, that's fine.
She's got superpowers, man. Give it a break.
But yeah, I mean, he's a beast.
He is humongous.
And he's the kind of guy, even if you put him in orange and green tights, he's still going to look intimidating because he's...
They won't. I mean, in the newer renditions, he wears like...
He's shirtless for the most part.
Yeah, they're mostly shirtless. They wear like these kind of like emerald, scaly...
kind of looking trunks.
They look like fish scale, like leggings sort of thing.
Yeah, basically.
And then a lot of them wear like just straight up like armor, like kind of like stylized medieval type armor.
Yeah, they'll probably have like two versions where he has like the bodysuit that he walks in. Well, just like Man of Steel had. You know, look at Jor-El. He had his regular Superman like underwear that he walks around in, and then he put on the armor to fight Zod.
And you know what would be cool is if they have Superman, like if he was able to
armors up,
if he gets his hands on some sort of Superman armor, that'd be tight.
Oh goodness!
But anyway, yeah. So Aquaman, I mean, it's not going to be silly. They take these characters so seriously. I mean, it's going to be an intense emotional drain on your soul. That's what that's going to be.
I mean, Greenpeace is going to be loving this. They're going to be like, yeah, save the oceans.
Yeah, pick up those coke nets. Okay, and then April 5th, 2019, we've got Shazam. We know we didn't realize.
We don't know who Shazam is going to be yet. We only know the villain.
We know.
Which is funny.
Yeah, we know the villain's going to be Black Adam. We don't know exactly what. Yeah, we didn't know this was going to be 5 years.
It's 4.5 years away. Yeah.
Yeah, so they got plenty of time to cast everything, and they probably don't even have the whole entire script written yet.
But realistically, let's keep in mind too. This does as far as if you're going through your everyday life, 4.5 years is a long time away.
There's so many movies coming out.
But when it comes to these production schedules and everything, they're not going to start filming it 3 months before it opens.
Yeah.
So like realistically, we're looking at 2.5 to 3 years before we start getting, you know, pre-production like set shots and you know, costume designs and things like that getting leaked out.
Probably another year before we even know who Shazam is going to be played by, though.
Yeah, I mean, there's no rush for them to do that now. There's a lot bigger stuff coming before then, so there's really no need for them to.
Okay, and then we've got at the end of 2019, June 14th, Justice League Part 2. We don't know. This
is when they finally kill Brainiac.
Yeah. Well, who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, Justice League Part 2, we know we're gonna have more characters. So if possibly Shazam, I hope Martian Manhunter's a really cool character. I hope they can work him into it
kind of depends
somehow.
How they go with it, but
we'll see what's going on there.
The interesting thing to me about that is they specifically said they're splitting the storyline of Justice League into 2 parts, so it won't be the second Justice League. It's going to be Justice League Part 2. So whatever happens in Justice League is going to end on somewhat of a cliffhanger.
Yeah,
there's going to be unresolved issues
Fellowship of the Rings type of a deal.
Yeah. But
that
Justice
was a huge
League 2,
cliffhanger.
But Fellowship,
which was
Justice League 2.
Remember the Lord of the Rings where they walk up to a mountain and they're like, oh, this is gonna be a tough climb, and then that's the end of the movie.
Cut to credits.
You remember that? That's not I can't remember if it was the first one or the second one.
I think it was the first one.
But it was like such the biggest cliffhanger. I was like, dang.
But yeah.
Anyway, so I hope it doesn't. I hope they get some level of finality in that first one. I mean, come on, give me a little something.
You didn't like the way that you don't think they should do it like Spider-Man 2?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, just have like Brainiac come in at the last second. And then,
I'm gonna hurt you guys at the end. What the heck?
So yeah, that'd be cool. Now, if you want to get a good Justice League origin story, don't watch the New 52. There's an animated movie called Justice League War that just came out. Sucks. Okay, you need to go watch the 2-part episode Justice League movie kind of the original Justice League TV series from like 2002, I think.
Yeah, almost 10 years ago.
That was a really great story. That's actually how they meet Martian Manhunter, because the aliens that like took over Mars have come to Earth.
Right.
And so Martian Manhunter's the only one that survived. That was a great origin story of that. So yeah, that'll be good if you want to check that out. Okay, April 3rd, 2020, Cyborg. All we know about this is Ray Fisher's going to be in it. at this point, we'll already have seen probably a lot of him by now.
He'll probably, in one or both of the Justice Leagues, turned into Cyborg.
Yeah. And then we might see him pop up in The Flash or Aquaman or something. And then June 19th, we got 2020 Green Lantern. We don't know anything about this movie. Who's going to be in it?
It's a reboot.
Yeah, we know it's a reboot. All new actors. Bradley Cooper. Fingers crossed. Idris Elba. That'd be awesome if they go Jon Stewart. I would love that.
They could. Well, 2020. He's going to be a little old for that, won't he?
Yeah, he doesn't age.
Yeah, he's in pretty good shape. But no, I mean, come on. He's Heimdall. He's not going to... If he's still...
Yeah, which is in the Marvel universe. And we're talking about the DC universe.
Yeah,
talk to Ryan Reynolds about that.
Yeah, not at the same time, though.
Or shoot, Chris Evans. He did the studio crossover. Fantastic Four. Scott Pilgrim. Captain America.
Yeah, but that would... Well, Scott Pilgrim we sort of count. But... Because most people don't even know that was a comic book. Yeah. No, I kind of doubt it from... I hope they stick with the Hal Jordan character just because that's one I'm most familiar with.
Idris Elba.
But
that's Hal Jordan.
But at the end of the day, the thing that, a lot of people don't realize, Green Lantern, the character we know as Green Lantern, like Hal Jordan, the original...
There's like a billion of them.
Yeah, there's an unlimited supply.
There's a
all
whole
over the place.
core of all kinds of weird-looking aliens.
So, and that's, so that's something they could do a lot with. The big thing about that, though, is just the pressure that there's going to be on them to kind of erase in people's minds the stink of the last one.
Well, by that time, we'll have seen so much of the new and improved DC universe, no one's going to know what's up. Okay, now...
But everything we just went over...
That does not include Batman.
Yeah, they're going to do a Batman solo movie with Ben Affleck. Okay.
I don't know what the subtitle would be on that.
It's just Batman.
Or
just
the
straight
Dark
up Batman.
The Dark Knight. Yeah, just call it Batman. Yeah.
Just Batman, buy a ticket,
Batman, Ben Affleck.
But they could call it Batfleck and get away with it. And then
Superman.
Man of Steel 2. They're going to have another solo one of him, which I'm looking forward to, because originally when Man of Steel did awesome, they said, hey, we're working on another one.
Man of Steel 2
Then they changed it to Batman v Superman. I'm like, whoa, so it's not a Man of Steel solo. We are going to get another Man of Steel solo. But here's the thing. Everything we just said...
Oh, and we know Justice League is going to be directed by Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
Rumor is they're shooting Justice League Part 1 and 2 back-to-back.
Yes, which makes sense. But here's the thing. Everything we just said... is only DC. We've got a buttload of other movies that are also happening. We're getting like 6 to 8 movies a year in 2016 to 17.
Now, we don't have time to discuss all these, but I will name them off for your convenience. Age of Ultron, Ant-Man, Fantastic Four reboot, Deadpool solo movie, Batman v Superman, Captain America 3, X-Men Apocalypse, Doctor Strange, Suicide Squad, Sinister Six, Wolverine, Untitled Marvel movie, Wonder Woman, Fantastic Four 2, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Justice League, another Untitled Marvel movie, The Flash, two Untitled Marvel movies, an Untitled Fox movie, Aquaman, another Untitled Justice League movie, Shazam, another Untitled Marvel movie from Disney, Justice League 2, Cyborg, Green Lantern. Now, I just named 30. There are 30 movies in there. Oh, Venom, solo movie, Sinister Six, maybe, somehow. Spider-Woman? Female-led Spider-Verse movie? We don't know. And then The Amazing Spider-Man 3. Also. Total, 30 movies in 5 years.
And that's probably going to get added with other stuff that hasn't been announced.
Those are only movies that we know about.
Yeah.
And we don't know about every movie that's going to be coming out.
If you like comic book movies...
This is a good time to be alive.
Yes. You need to... eat your Wheaties.
Yeah.
Don't walk out in front of traffic. Okay. Take general caution to stay breathing.
Do a couple push-ups, a couple sit-ups, 8 glasses of water, and you'll be good. Okay.
Yeah.
God, just enough to keep you alive till 2020, because just to at least see. Because
after that, no big deal. But
let's put this in perspective, because I am very excited, but I don't want that to cloud my judgment here, because. Just because all these movies have been announced doesn't necessarily mean they're coming out. Obviously, it means they probably will come out, but we know plans can change, movies can get shuffled around. All studios do
Wait,
it. And
they change movie dates? I've never heard of that, especially with DC. They don't change movie dates.
Twice they changed one movie.
But here's the thing. To also keep in mind, as excited as we are, and of course, as movie fans, we want them to be really good, doesn't also mean that these are all going to be awesome movies. There could definitely be some stinkers in there.
There could be an Amazing Spider-Man 2 in there. Who knows?
It happens, okay?
Yeah.
Marvel, has a pretty solid track record, but then again, they're kind of due for a stinker. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you can't.
It's going to happen eventually, right?
Yeah, it's just you can't
and
always
DC,
hit it out of the park. You know what I mean?
DC's sort of in the early stage of its new run of films.
So they have a better chance of starting off strong and rising higher.
They could stumble over the next couple. Batman v Superman could be a huge flop. We don't know.
Well, it's not going to be a flop for sure. It could.
Well,
stink.
critically speaking,
it could stink.
It could, but we're going to hope for the best.
If that does, if Batman v Superman, if fans do not like Batman v Superman, that is
couple of those
end. That is the end of these movies.
I don't know if I'd go so. In fact, I would definitely not go so far as to say it would be the end. They would need a lot of redemption and Justice League, but it would definitely knock some of the smaller ones off the table because they're like, whoa,
Suicide Squad,
let's can that.
Man,
and
hopefully
go
not Wonder
route.
Woman. Man, she's due for. I don't think she's never had a live action movie. Did you know that? Ever.
Linda Carter didn't do a movie.
TV movie.
Oh, you mean in theaters? Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure she did.
Yeah, back in the day, they would have
Okay,
TV movies like start off the TV show.
Right.
Yeah.
I got you.
But,
yeah, I mean, that's probably, as far as the next 2 to 3 years, that's my biggest concern would be the Wonder Woman, because I'm real leery about that casting, and I don't care how good the special effects are and how good the storyline is. Well, we may not know. She may not have a very big part in that. You know what I mean? She may only be in like 3 or 4 scenes, and the way they cut the scene. Look at what's his name for Drax the Destroyer in Guardians. He did great as that role in that film, but would you put him to lead his own movie? I wouldn't. He's not strong enough of an actor.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
True.
So they could edit it and write her into Batman v Superman in such a way where it makes her shine, but that's very different from carrying your own film.
That's true. I will admit, I think she will definitely have a significant role, though it might not be huge. It will be significant.
Yeah.
Because you can't just have her show up in one movie and then have
as
her
an extra, like in the background.
Yeah, and then have her lead her own
and
then have her lead her own movie.
Yeah.
A year from that.
Yeah, she has to have a presence.
So she's got to, even if it's a small section of the movie, she's got to have a standout scene or scenes or whatever.
Maybe she'll come in towards the end, since that she'll be coming in right after that. You know what I mean? Because she's the next movie.
Yeah,
after
it's Suicide Squad in between there.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So, which I don't think she'll be in Suicide Squad. So they've got to give her a strong, reason to want to go see her movie.
Yeah.
Which is almost a year after that.
That's gonna be tough.
Okay, well I think we covered that pretty in depthly.
Yeah. So what's going on in the world other than Marvel and DC?
There is nothing outside of that.
That's pretty much it. Yeah. So we're done for the day.
No. Let me see here. Did we have anything else?
Most of the stuff the other stories we covered in that, like the casting, Ezra Miller, that kind of stuff.
Scarlett Johansson is looking at maybe join Ghost in the Shell, which I don't know a lot about. I started watching one of the movies.
It's one of the more popular animes.
It's a mech anime series, which is like kind of like Transformers, but people get inside and control them, basically.
Yeah. She would be... I forget who they were talking with before that. Oh, I think
Rupert
it was
Sanders?
Margot Robbie.
She was
rumored to be talking about, but I don't think she's a big enough name yet to pull that off.
Yeah, ScarJo, I think she's an action star now, female.
Yeah, she's got enough name recognition that people will go to see that even though they're not familiar with the series. So they're trying to spread their base. Because if you get someone nobody's ever heard of, then you've got to go off of the name recognition of Ghost in the Shell, which isn't that big.
It's not. Yeah. Well, this movie will kill overseas.
Oh yeah.
In China, I mean.
Oh sure.
It's a household name over there. So yeah, Rupert Sanders is in talks to direct that movie from Snow White and the Huntsman, which does not inspire confidence in me, but good thing I don't care too much.
I didn't mind that movie. I thought Kristen Stewart was totally miscast in that, but as a film, I didn't mind it. Charlize Theron, I thought was awesome. She was a great villain.
True. Yeah, that was a redeeming quality of that movie. Okay. Sam Raimi is in talks to develop a rom-com called Love May Fail. Which would be
subtitled "So Might This Movie."
Yeah. Oh man, that stinks. Yeah. If there's one thing we know about Spider-Man 3, it's that Sam Raimi doesn't really know how to do drama and like serious romance that well. But I mean, who knows?
So maybe keeping it light will be right up his alley.
Yeah, maybe
Never
so.
know.
Oh
Gotta
yeah,
branch
it's
out.
a comedy. Yeah. Which he did. Oz the Great and Powerful, which that was fine.
I mean, Tobey Maguire's character in Spider-Man 3 was pretty laughable. So.
Oh yeah, and then Christian Bale is in talks to play Steve Jobs again.
Oh yeah.
With Danny Boyle.
They need to lock that up because to me he's the right actor for that role.
Yes, I think. Yeah. Who was the other? Leonardo DiCaprio was apparently in talks after Christian Bale, and now Christian Bale's back.
Yeah.
But, I mean, yeah. Christian Bale is the guy to do it. His style of acting just fits with. I imagine Steve Jobs is kind of a quiet, intense guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And Leonardo DiCaprio is more of like a flamboyant type of an actor. You know what I mean?
Well, and there's also the kind of ego thing. Steve Jobs was known to be a little bit egotistical, and Christian Bale, I think, could tap into some of that. But the other thing about this one, and
do you have some kind of a problem? Huh?
You'll never work in this town again. But the other thing, and we've talked about this before, is this one, Danny Boyle's doing this one, and it's supposedly written to be 3 one-shot acts.
Right. Well, like three scenes from like 3 moments in his life.
Yeah. And so it cinematic or cinematographically, I don't know what the word.
Cinematographically?
Whatever this word we're making.
Cinematography.
The cinematography of it will be somewhat unique. So the way that it's presented on screen will have a different feel from other, based on a true story type films.
Yeah, so. Which I think is a really good idea because, I mean, really, when you're watching a biographical type of a film, you never really know. You never really know what didn't happen.
Yeah.
So I think it would be cool to just get a feel for the guy, and not really need to know every beat of his life. When he started Apple, what was going on during that,
what got left out. No. We're leaving out a lot. We're just talking about this.
Yeah, and this going into this, you won't expect to hit all the highlights of his life.
Right.
You'll just, all you can expect is to get a feel for
who he is as a character.
Who he was, as kind of a person. Which I think Christian Bale would be best to tap into that.
What might be holding up the talks for him to finally sign on the dotted line for this contract is, Ashton Kutcher's schedule's been pretty tight, so he may be having trouble getting with him to get some acting tips.
Hey, Ashton Kutcher, you can actually buy one-on-one personal consultations with Ashton Kutcher. They're not expensive. They're like $60. He sits down with you. It's like a Skype session, and he sits down with you and talks to you.
FaceTimes you for 20 minutes or whatever?
Yeah, it's a half-hour session, and he'll sit down with you and talk to you about how to get whatever it is you want to do. He'll it's like for personal image crafting or something like that. So something like that.
So many jokes could be made about that.
You could look it up. Look it up. It's a pretty interesting, pretty neat thing. Anyway, Javier Bardem is maybe joining the cast of Pirates of the Caribbean 5, which I'll be honest with you, the first one was great. Second one really dropped off. I didn't see the third one, and then when the fourth one came out, I actually kind of liked that movie.
The fourth one I thought was better than the third. The third, At World's End or whatever, was just weird. It's a movie franchise based on a ride, okay?
Hey, Tomorrowland.
This is worse than when they base a movie on a video game. Because video games have a story.
Hey, the Tetris movie is happening, man.
I'm not putting legs on them.
That movie is happening.
But this is... it's a ride. It's a theme park ride, and they made a movie about it. So after the first one I thought was cool. They had a neat story about it. Johnny Depp being wild and crazy. Hey, you never seen that before? Okay, but then after the second one,
you hadn't at that point.
Edward Scissorhands.
But this was a different.
It was weird.
This was a different kind of.
Anyway. But yeah, he was. He's always walking around drunk and all this kind of stuff. The fourth one did pick up, even though they changed a lot of the cast. In that one, this one, I think I'm struggling to get excited about it. But at the end of the day, when the movie comes out, I'm gonna go see it.
I mean, I wouldn't say I'm excited about it, but I mean, the fourth one was. I don't even remember what happened or what the storyline was.
It was the Fountain of Youth one.
I just remember him and then the other lady, Penelope Cruz.
And there's mermaids.
I just remember thinking, yeah, this is fun. It's fun, pirate, sword fighting.
General remembrance of funness.
That's all. I just remember, sword fighting, ships, pirates. It's just
rum, things like that.
Good, clean fun. Javier Bardem, he'd be cool as like a pirate or something. I think that'd be cool.
He's a pretty flexible actor, I think.
And apparently, Minecraft the movie is still happening from Warner Brothers.
Jumping on that Lego train, they're like blocks in movies. Do it.
Yeah, and that's coming from Warner Brothers, so.
It's going to be good.
It's going to cross over into the Batman.
Yeah.
Batman is going to be like playing Minecraft on his bat phone. Or on his...
Here's the Batmine.
His bat pad. Anyway, that's it for the news. We had a few trailers drop this week. The two that I want to talk about are In the Heart of the Sea. Looks pretty good. And then Tomorrowland, the teaser dropped for that. So let's talk about In the Heart of the Sea. Not much to say about it. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It looks interesting. It looks cool. The special effects look incredible. Chris Hemsworth is great. We know that he does great acting with... what's the director's name?
I don't know.
Anyway, Rush. The guy who directed Rush. And Andy, the Andy Griffith Show? Ron Howard.
Yeah.
He's directing this. Did you know that?
I did. I just totally blanked out.
Did you know he was directing this?
It's a Monday.
Okay.
Yeah. It definitely, from the trailer, it has kind of a Ron Howard feel to it.
Yeah, and you saw Rush, right?
I did. I wasn't crazy about that. I've liked some of his other stuff more, but...
But his acting, Chris Hemsworth, how was he in?
Yeah, no, he did a very good job. A lot of people know him from Thor, but he's been in several other films. He is definitely a solid actor. He's, doing more roles like this, I think, is a good thing. I'm not sure when this is coming out exactly, timing-wise.
I think it's coming out in this year.
2014? No, it's 2015.
Okay.
Isn't it?
I'm
pretty sure it is. Anyway, this is basically, the premise is, this is a movie about the story, based on true events story that inspired the novel Moby Dick. So it's not a movie adaptation of Moby Dick. It's more of the real men and what actually happened kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. But my favorite part actually was the poster of it. Not even the trailer, because the poster is an aerial shot looking down on the ocean
of
the ship. And underneath, in the water, beneath the ship, you see the outline of the whale.
Huge whale.
And it is massive.
Yeah.
It is huge.
And it looks a little stylized. There's like some stylization going on. But anyway,
yeah, I mean, it's not an actual. It's not. They didn't like go to SeaWorld and get an actual.
No, I mean the
whale.
filming. Like there's like this weird shot of Chris Hemsworth like thrusting a spear into something.
Yeah.
And it's just like weirdly like stylized. It's got this Dutch
going to be a little artsy and everything, but it's more the kind of the human struggle of the characters. Cillian Murphy's in it. Who's another actor I really like.
It's yes, I was very excited to see him. I was like, yes, get in there, get some good acting in.
This is one, I would like to see maybe one more trailer showing just a little bit more, but just from this trailer already, I'm excited for the film.
Yeah, I mean, I would see it just based on this trailer alone. And then the other, we got a teaser for Tomorrowland, which honestly got me really pumped for this movie. I was already excited because Brad Bird at this point, he's got bulletproof filmography. Iron Giant, not the Expendables, but the Incredibles.
Yeah.
Sort of like the family version of the Expendables. And so, and then Mission Impossible 4, which was just...
Ghost Protocol?
Yeah, just crazy fun thrill ride.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I mean, this looks awesome.
And it was a good teaser trailer.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't really tell you what the movie's about, to be honest.
Yeah, there's a girl.
You don't know what the story is.
Yeah, there's a girl. She's coming out of like juvie or something. She's getting her stuff. She gets this pin, like this button that like transports her to tomorrow, like into this wheat field.
As soon as she touches it, she's transported. Let's go. She's back. She's like, what the heck?
Yeah. So if she ever drops that.
Yeah, like if she flicks it up in the air, does it?
Now here's the thing: how does time work in Tomorrowland? Because when you go there, does time stop in the real world where you came from?
Are they concurrent universes?
Yeah, are they concurrent universes? Because then if you stay there for like years, then you got to come back, and you haven't seen your family in years.
All I know is they have Just for Men hair dye because George Clooney looks a little younger. But George Clooney, being his typical George Clooney self, giving a good little bit of narration.
Okay, March 15th, 2015, in the heart of the sea.
Oh yeah, okay, so it's only about 6 months away.
Okay, yeah. But back to Tomorrowland. Do we know when that's coming out?
Tomorrow or after. Yeah, in the land.
Anyway, it looks really cool.
I think it's like November or so, isn't it, next year? Anyway.
Well, we saw just enough to get me excited. Like this looks like
very cool.
Looks like a movie that definitely looks like a movie that Brad Bird would make, but in the best. Like this looks like it's gonna be the best of Brad Bird.
It looks kind of fairly epic as far as scope.
Yes.
Really cool visuals.
And I think the story is going to be pretty cool. Now, this is also based on for like a ride or like an attraction at Disney.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I was going to say that earlier.
It's like you know, who cares? You know, it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean it's going to be bad. Or it doesn't mean it's going to be good.
The upside of that is there's not really any limiters on it.
Yeah, it's a ride. There's nothing. Yeah.
Here's what the ride looks like. Include that in there, make a movie. So there really aren't any limiting factors.
Yeah.
It's going to be something dealing with the future and, you know, innovation and creation and engineering and this kind of stuff.
Maybe.
So it's going to be one of those kind of things.
There's a jetpack. So
which, as we all know,
that's coming.
Will be the mode of transportation for the future.
Yes, even though it won't.
No.
Now, yeah, so... I think that was the only trailers that I really want to talk about.
Yeah, that's the only two significant ones.
So last little bit, movie for you to watch this week. Danny, what's your movie?
You know, we do this thing where we're going to try to recommend something.
Just maybe a random movie.
Maybe not something that's out right now.
No, definitely. This would be like a rental.
Yeah, this would be something that's been out a while that maybe you haven't seen.
Or maybe you have and should revisit.
I'm going to go classic. Get some good football games on this weekend. I'm going to go recommend, especially with Notre Dame being in the news, I'm going to go with Rudy. You know, Sean Astin, great performance, fantastic tale of overcoming obstacles and never letting the man keep you down. It's one of those. It's one of the few movies out there where it's okay for a man to cry at the end. Tears of joy, I'm right there with your brother. Yeah. Okay. You watch the movie, sit down with a date, you know, spouse, significant other, whatnot. Sit down with the family. Doesn't really matter. It's fantastic. Especially if you're Catholic, you'll like it. A lot of Catholic imagery and stuff going on in there. But really great movie. A lot of fun. If you haven't seen it in a while, it's worth revisiting. Go check out Rudy.
And that is a mini review right there.
Yeah, it is.
There you go. We got one in. Okay. And my movie for this week that you should check out, which you may or may not have seen, it isn't underrated, and it didn't underperform at the box office either. But it's not really talked about that much because it was a little smaller budget movie. But connection here, Chris Hemsworth is starring in this movie called Black Hat, and it's directed by Michael Mann, who, exactly 10 years ago, directed a movie called Collateral.
I watched that the other day.
Are you serious?
Yes.
It was on like FX or something.
Yes.
And I was watching it like just yesterday, and it's a really awesome like crime, like noir style thriller.
Yeah.
Just like. The best thing about it is like the story just like takes a lot of twists and turns that you just don't expect. It's about Jamie Foxx is a cab driver and he happens to take Tom Cruise, like he has his like on a ride, normal cab ride. But then turns out Tom Cruise is a hitman and he's forcing Jamie Foxx to take him around to all his hits across the city. And it's
quite a predicament.
Yes, the movie takes lots of twists and turns. Like there's all kinds of weird things that happen, and you're just like, where is this going? I don't know. Like, how is this going to end? But Tom Cruise gives an amazing performance as a villain. He should really revisit the villainous roles, I think. That could be...
Yeah, he does good as a bad guy. Also, Mark Ruffalo's in that one.
Mark Ruffalo is a police officer in it.
Yeah.
And that's the only other person
Berg is his partner. He's a director now. Something Berg. What's his name?
I'm sure you'll think of it.
The guy that directed Lone Survivor.
Oh, that guy?
Yes!
Oh, did he also direct Act of Valor?
I don't think he did. What is his name? I can't think
anyway,
of his
the Collateral is like really, really...
Not Collateral Damage.
Peter Berg,
yeah.
Collateral,
not Collateral Damage.
That's the Arnold Schwarzenegger.
When you're looking them up, they'll say totally different
Collateral,
movies.
Tom Cruise, Jamie Foxx. Awesome. If you like action, thriller movies or like noir movies, great. It was actually highly praised when it came out, and it did really well at the box office too.
Yeah.
But it's just, I just never hear about it. I don't hear really people talk about it when they talk about like Tom Cruise movies or Jamie Foxx movies. Yeah. Jamie Foxx he got nominated for Best Supporting Actor for that role.
Did he really?
Yeah, as the cab driver. 2004. Check that out. That'll do it for us this week. This has been an episode of The Casual Critics, episode number 1. Thank you for listening. You can check me out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, MySpace, Tumblr, Snapchat, Tinder, Grindr, Christian Mingle, all those places. And that'll do it for us. Oh, and of course, youtube.com/SanDiego. Daniel, do you want people to follow you on Twitter or no?
If you're interested in some deep, philosophical, earth-shattering retweets, then you can follow me on Twitter at DanielSmithAP2, or if you go to Facebook, just do a quick search for Daniel Smith. I'm the only one on there.
Yes, I'm sure that's true. All right, that'll do it for us this week, guys. We will see you next time.